You take any field of science you take, it is all about at the end conservation of energy. That's all. Gayatri is what? It is, they are talking only about conservation of energy, highest level of conservation of energy. It is not that people are blind, worshipping the sun. Without sun, where are we, you tell me? What is the sun? It is a fusion. The highest level of source of conservation of energy. Have we achieved today the level of fusion today? No. Means we are how far away from the Vedic civilization? Understand? They realized the importance of the fusion and thousands of years back, and they wanted to go for not hot fusion. What they discovered is a cold fusion. The moment I use cold fusion, your mind runs into 2 degree Kelvin, 4 degree Kelvin. That is a foolish will do. What is the cold fusion? A least quantum state of energy when you reach. For a living cell it is different. For a matter it is different. Least quantum state of energy when you reach. You reach least quantum state of energy by the cold fusion. So atoms lose their identity. Any atom can become anything. That's why. So what our science discovered, observation inside will take you to the least quantum state of energy. As a biologically, for us to open a black hole automatically and to get tuned into the singularity. So least quantum state of energy is different from a biological cell to, so ordinary atom. It's entirely different. So what is born first? Consciousness is born, or hydrogen element is born. All our superfluid technology, the second element you take helium, 2 degree Kelvin, 4 degree Kelvin. But what is much before that born? Consciousness is born. Whatever science discovered, if you can realize that consciousness, a less than least quantum state of energy, not through these particles, not through these atoms, if you can break down further down into the level of consciousness, where Big Bang occurred, and then once you reach that level, automatically you lose your ego, becomes zero. Your identity is gone. Your identity is gone. In the cold fusion, every atom, there is no gold, there is no iron, there is no lead, there is nothing. Everything is the same. So once we go to that level, all of us we are the same at the level of consciousness, beyond hydrogen, beyond pentaquarks, beyond dark energy. When you go, it is the same. And when you realize that by observing inside, that's called cold fusion, least quantum state. Entropy, it is a formula of entropy. Gayatri is a formula of entropy, a formula of energy. And it is a prayer to the sun. It is not the sun. If you really understand, Bhargo, what is burning? What is burning? He didn't say it is a sun. Understand, they didn't say sun. They have not used the word anywhere, so-called sun, in Gayatri. It is your understanding. You simply fire means sun is burning all the time, you think a sun. There is no word called sun used in Gayatri. The Gayatri is very clear. Even addition to the Gayatri, Om started much later. Because Om is from where it is born. There is no consonant in the Om. That's how Om is added much later to the Gayatri. By the time Vishwamitra has systematized itself, Om is already there with the Gayatri. But what was not there? The systematization of the Gayatri, explanation of the Gayatri, what is the Maharloka, what is Janarloka, what is Tapoloka, what are the planes of consciousness, the systematization was not existing, and that's why Vishwamitra explored it, experienced it. That's why Vishwamitra has given the true meaning of the Gayatri. Until then no one explained, this is a boom means this is a plane of consciousness, Maharloka means this is the first Samadhi, and this is the second Samadhi, this is the third Ananta Samapatti, fourth Ananta Samapatti. No one explained. It is only Vishwamitra explained it. So that's why Vishwamitra became Chanda, Vishwamitra Chandaha, Gayatri Chandaha, Vishwamitra. What Vishwamitra has given? He has given the style. He has given the meaning, he has experienced it. The one who experienced it knows the sound of silence. He knows the sound. So what he has given the sound means he experienced it. That's why every Moola mantra goes by the sound. And who has experienced it? Everyone experiences singularity, but the way they explain is different. Now the next, say, Moola mantra of the Shiva or a Narayana. Again, it is a special, but that saint experienced the same energy entropy in a different way. It is explained. Every Moola mantra refers to the same. Whether you say Narayanaya, whether you say Shivaya, we will be exploring those mantras every day. But when I explain a mantra means each mantra has so much of depth. You should never think that when I don't explain, this is not the forum. I am not training you to be in mantra. I am only telling you there is a poison and you know what medicine you have to take to remove the poison. I am interested in removing the poison than educating you about the poison. Understand? So about anything I explain, otherwise this science will never end. As Buddha said, it will never end. What is required for you, what is required for me is how to use the Gayatri, where to use, how to use it, and similarly other mantras, protection mantras. They are not addiction mantras. I am not training you to get addicted to these mantras, but I am training you to protect yourself. How to use it as a paritta. And that happens only when you have a right understanding coming from the right pipe. A pure pipe, a mantra has to flow in, that's all. That is called Diksha. Diksha means the one who is chanting has to maintain that purity. As he experienced it or not, then only he can give the Diksha. And now everyone gives the Diksha. Diksha has become a parrot making ceremony. To make a parrot making, you don't need a ceremony. So I am not initiating. My initiation program is not a parrot making ceremony. My initiation is all to make you experience one day, to the ultimate singularity. If you believe, if you flow with me, as I told, it is a yogi training program. It is not a yoga teacher training program. This course will be the existing course will be formally over only when the new course begins. We have not yet done graduation ceremony. Only our assessment is completed. And still my students have to pay Guru Dakshina. Without paying the Guru Dakshina Samarohana, graduation program, no course ends. Graduation means gratitude program. Graduation means gratitude program. Gratitude program means a student learns from a teacher. If he doesn't express the gratitude, forever in the life he will be indebted. Whether you are in the college, whether you are in the university, and there is a convocation ceremony, there is a graduation ceremony, for which you have to pay separate money. And in fact, that tradition is coming from thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It is not today. Even in Takshashila University, so the one at the time of the Buddha gives a story of Ahimsaka and what his guru asked in turn, because he passed out with the brilliant colors from the Takshashila University. And this person called Ahimsaka, and then later on he is called Angulimala. That story I will tell you, but it is all about Guru Dakshina. How the graduation ceremony happened, and how a student has to pay back to the teacher. And because teaching, the teacher will never charge, institution will charge. And teaching is free always. Teacher gives always free. So this institution, this institution, charity institution is making you these teachings available, not me. My job is to teach you. So whatever you learned from this institution, you learned. Whatever you paid to this institution. But what about the teacher? You can never pay to the teacher. Teacher can never be valued. Teaching can never be valued. Wherever you go, understand. Teaching can never be valued. Teacher can never be valued. Then you are indebted. The whole program is to get out of the debit account. This whole program is sacrifice. The whole program of singularity is not to be indebted to anyone. Then if you are indebted to the teacher, it is a much more, that debit can never be fulfilled. That's why to fulfill that, not to have a debit program with the teacher where you learn from the teachings, so you have to receive. So the option is given to the teacher because student can never value. That's why teacher will decide what he wants, ask. A sincere student should go and ask the teacher, because he surrendered to the teacher. Teacher, whatever you ask, I will give. That's all. A best student means, oh teacher, whatever you ask, I will give. This is what happened at the time of the Buddha, or at the time of Ekalavya in the Mahabharata. You should know, the great Guru Dakshina is paid by, and a great Guru Dakshina means a great way of giving back. Gratitude is, so whatever you ask, I will give. So, this is what uttered at the time of the Buddha in the Takshila University. Or this is what Ekalavya said when Dronacharya. In fact, the Ekalavya only kept the statue of the Dronacharya in the forest. He never knew who is the Dronacharya also. He only kept his statue. And he went on learning from the YouTube. He went on practicing. From the YouTube he practiced. And he got good skill. And now actually the one who made the YouTube came. Hey, he said, oh my God, he said, oh my God, and my hero has come truly. He's not YouTube, but real hero has come. The real hero said, you have learned from me. Sir, I learned from YouTube, not from you, but it's from you, from me. How you recognized me? So it is as good as you are learning me. Then what you are giving me back? You due. And I taught you. Whether you learn from YouTube, you learn from my book, it doesn't matter. But you owe me. Yes, agreed, sir. I really have that. Whatever you want, I will give. And what he learned, archery. Without the permission of the teacher, he stole. Without the permission of the teacher, he learned. It doesn't work. He said, give me your thumb. Why? Because he is going to fight on behalf of him and on behalf of the evil. So if he is going to fight on behalf of the evil, and so the merit will be defeated, the angels will be defeated, Pandavas will be defeated. And he could foresee what's going to happen. And what he asked, in order to protect the good, in order to protect the good versus evil, and he has to ask his thumb. He knows. But he used what he can use as a teacher to protect others. There are so many intricacies you have to see, you have to understand. So also any graduation ceremony is a gratitude ceremony. So a student should ask, oh teacher, what do you want? In all the ashrams, wherever I went, and I never put any condition. They know my status. I am very open. So that's why whatever I said, you want my life, I will give. Every teacher I said this, if you want my life, I can give. If you want my head, I can cut it here and I can give. But no teacher wanted it, I can tell you. And whatever they asked, I have given. I have not left. Many teachers said, we don't want anything, Kumar, only you just practice is required. But still, I asked, sir, please take something, please. Otherwise, you are indebted to your mother for giving you the birth, for giving you the second birth, the teacher. Whether he is a kindergarten teacher, whether he is the teacher in the university, the teacher in the college, wherever the teacher is there, you must know. Graduation ceremony is not for institution you are paying, but you must go to your professor, you must go to the teachers, you must ask what they want. Then only you will be free from indebtedness. That's why it's called Samarohana. We are all the time, graduation means climbing up step by step, step by step. You only step up only when you pay, when you only reward, when you only express your gratitude to the teacher. Each step the teacher is different, each step teacher is different, but every teacher is very important for your growth. Arohana. So, you are growing. Without kindergarten, there is no primary. Without primary education, there is no secondary. Without secondary, there is no college. And without college, there is no graduation. So, there is systematic growth in you. At every level, every teacher is very, very equal. No teacher is unimportant. Every teacher is important. Teacher of singularity to the teacher of, so the one who taught you one pranayama, the one who taught you one kriya is equally important. Sama, arohana, in your ascending, every teacher is equal. That program in Sanskrit graduation program is called Sama Arohana. Samarohana. 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 And because I follow the tradition scrupulously, I always tell my students, every graduation ceremony we conduct, RYT 200, 500, I always tell them, and we always have a big Samarohana. So what teacher will do? So teacher will ask something, again which will benefit others, which in turn the technique should spread. So that is called Samarohana program. So teacher will ask something, okay, you give some money, or he will ask, okay, you give me something, or you give something, again not, teacher is selfless, he will ask for his institution, or he will ask for something, or to spread. So what normally I used to ask my students is, we have a big get together, and all my students, we tell them to bring their family members, relatives, friends, so that when they attend this program, what their friends have gone through, they get inspired to again to do a course. And not for doing a course, the life changes dramatically. And Sabbadhanam Dambadhanam Jinati, a student money has to be used, again it should become like a seed. For him, his money has to be used again for others. And suppose a student has paid graduation ceremony, say 10 pounds he paid or 20 pounds he paid. 20 pounds, normally we charge 20 pounds because that is the ceremony, physical ceremony what we conduct will cost that much. So 20 pounds per person we charge. The 20 pounds when we charge, the 20 pounds, so 10 people he will bring and his friends or relatives. So the 20 people when they come, when they listen, the graduation ceremony when they attend, and that day when the final lesson by the teacher is given only on Samarohana day, that lesson comprises of what he taught in the 3 months. And that lesson and that talk, the last talk, first talk are very important. So the last talk, and for the student and students' friends when they come, listening to the talk on Samarohana day, and they get inspired. Many of them again, so this money paid by the student, and because of that money, another 10 students join, he gets the highest merit. That is the benefit to Sabbadhanam Dhammadhanam Jinati. That money, and he is feeding his friends that day, and those friends, and because of him those friends have come, because of him those friends get the teaching of yoga, get interested in yoga, and that inspires them. Again they come to the yoga tradition. That is the highest charity a student should do. This is the literal meaning of Samarohana. Every university in the world today, since the days of Takshashila or before, pre-Indus civilization in yoga tradition, and even today, every university follows this graduation program. So yoga, it comes from the yoga tradition, people should understand. And there is no graduation ceremony given for free. Graduation fee is different. We all know very well. So also in the yoga schools, a graduation is not called gratitude fee. It is a guru himself, in order not to put the student into a big trouble. Otherwise, a teacher has the liberty to ask anything to the student. Frankly speaking, that's why I offered always, irrespective of graduation money, I always offered to the teacher, so whatever you want I will give. In fact, I always gave whatever I had, the money at the end of the course. Whatever left out, I have always given it to the teacher in kind or whatever the form it is. A graduation program is a beginning program for someone, always understand, a beginning program for someone or for you, because your journey with the teacher continues. You should understand, this money what we are is only for your expenditure it is used. For your benefit, for your health only it is used. And this is one of the most purest and highest level of the traditions that is maintained. You are not paying me anything. You are not supposed to. I am a teacher, my job is to teach you selflessly. Your job is to take it selflessly, but your job is to also protect. You should not be indebted. That's the reason this institution has to be, like in olden days, this institution has to be run by you, not by me. And it is run by the students. You should know that. It is not run by me. I am only a teacher. I am committed as long as my teaching, my values are respected. As long as the standards are maintained in the tradition, I am going to be the teacher. I am only accepted to teach in the tradition freely, voluntarily, because they are going to uphold the values the way I want them to be. That is only the reason. Otherwise, the day they don't comply with the values what I teach, or they want to bring in someone else, I won't be teaching anymore. Understand very clearly. Traditional yoga is not owned by us, it is founded by the teacher as per the teacher's ideals. You can call me as a founder, but it has, for honorary founder, it has no meaning, frankly speaking. But it is run by, it is owned by, it is run by you, owned by you, wherever it is. So understand the importance of the legacy. We are not at all interested in building. It happens, maybe one day, who knows. But we are not interested, we don't worship the institutions, buildings, we worship only the teachings. You have to learn to worship only the teachings, not the buildings. Oh my God, these people have very nice bungalow, nice, so university campus, like a forest. When you go to a hotel, you are going simply, understand, for food. Where is a hotel is 5-star, where it has a diamond jewelry, where it has a platinum jewelry, where it has a platinum cutlery, where it is all that, finally the dish is not tasty. What does it mean by all these things? Tell me, when you go to a restaurant. The moment you kept the dish in your mouth, oh my God, horrible it is. Then do you think anything in that hotel pleases you? If one is going to the hotel and only to appreciate these things, not for the food, then you are called a fool. One goes to the hotel for what? Tell me. Only for food. The food has to be highest quality. Then all these things matter. Understand? So here, all these things, they don't matter. We don't want to tempt you by any of these things. We don't have any ashram. We don't have any buildings, we don't have any rivers flowing, except my speech flows like a Ganges, I tell you, and I can, like Everest, I can lift you and I can drop you like in a valley, like, gorges, because the deepest gorges are in Himalaya, the deepest peaks are there, that's where I went. I can take you like this, I can suddenly drop you like this. That's how you will learn. I'm telling you, so don't delude yourself. Kumar must be running 100 acres and a beautiful campus, so. You construct one day, I will be visitor like you, one day I will come and, again, if you want me a prisoner in that ashram, I won't be. Understand? So that's why, so don't delude yourself. So be clear, we have all come here without anything, we should all go and without anything. That is the fundamental reality. Is there anyone who is born with the dresses? Tell me. If any of you are born with the dresses, born with the caste, creed, labeled, written on you, I will believe it. Anyone is taking away with them when they die, also I believe in. Yoga is all about that. Come naked, go naked. When you come naked, when you go, even that nakedness will not be there. Only dust will be there and nothing will be left. Only Dhananjaya Vayu will be left. Your credit account, your glory only will be left. Nothing will be left. That is a fundamental factor in between your journey, whether you earn millions of the dollars, millions of the properties, millions of the gold, millions of the bucks, and nothing comes to you. If you are a fool to give that wealth, ready wealth to your children, you are the fool, because those children will become slaves. They will only blame you. It is like cutting your own head with a sword and giving that money. Make your children not owners of the property. Make your children independent. May not make it dependent. We should never pass on this wealth or anything to our children, remember. That is, we should always grow our children to be independent. Otherwise, anyone who is earned this money from the parents, always those children are spoiled. They are more miserable. They are more vulnerable. Understand the legacy of sharing, Samvibhaga. Today is the day of the Ramzan. Ramzan means, do you know why I like it? Today is the day where they have to pay back. Ramzan means they have every day iftar. There are two things which I like in this Ramzan festival, all of us which we can emulate. One is Every day evening when they break their fasting, that is called, it is not called, actually as people think feast, iftar is not a feast. It is called community sharing, community eating together in community. Every day during the entire Ramzan, in the evening, every Muslim, when they break their fast, and so they are very hungry, but you should know, the food, whatever is there in their plate, they should share with the entire community, with their family members, with their friends. Now everyone is sharing, that's why it's okay, they have it. But the real meaning of iftar is sharing, community eating. Om Sahanau Bhunaktu. If there is any community I see is Muslims. They sit together in the evening on the ground, on the carpet, they sit in the floor. They never sit. A typical Muslim means, a typical Hindu means, a typical Hebrew means, a typical Judaist means no dining table in the house. All of us, we sit, all of them supposed to sit. That is a tradition in India. All the family members sit all around in a circle, and the food is kept in the center, and all of them just share. That's called community eating, family eating. And entire community sits together. Iftar means every Muslim during these days and has to offer to the community at least one day, every day. But every day if everyone says who will eat, that's why now the present tradition is every day one Muslim comes forward and feeds the entire community, and that's called iftar. Iftar means not alone eating, it is always a community eating, number one, which I like about the most today is the last iftar they will have. Second one is what I like is today, this is throughout the Ramzan they practice. The second, the most important is zakat. Today is the day of the Ramzan. Today is the day, means they give, a typical Muslim means graduation ceremony, it is giving off, offering everything what they have. Not 2.5%. That is the truth. It is not the 2.5%. Whatever they have today in their purse or in their bank, they have to give it back to the community. That's called Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhuvunatu, Sahaviryam Karavahai, to help others. They have to give it back to the community. This is the greatest thing about the zakat. Today, every Muslim has to give off everything that really happens. Many of the Muslims, they become today, whatever you say, they give whatever they have. Not, I don't say whatever they have, but many of the good Muslims, they give maximum to the poor, they share. That community building, still I see in that religion, it is supposed to be a part of every religion in the world. And zakat today is the day they pay the zakat. They pay the debit. They know how much they are indebted to the Allah for their existence, and that's why they pay. They try to clear their debit account, and after 30 days of graduation, after 30 days of enormous change in them, out of gratitude, they only realize one thing: they should not own anything. Whatever they have, they should give it back, because whatever they have came from the society, they have to, some vibhaga, they have to give it back to the society. And today, and it is all about the zakat today.